Hey guys, welcome back to my beauty stash, or welcome if it is your first time here. Hello, my name is Steff. I would love to have you as a subscriber, so be sure to click on that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you like everything you see. Today we're going to be playing around with a brand new Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey palette. This is the mega size eyeshadow palette that Pat McGrath gave us for holiday 2021. This is an 18 pan eyeshadow palette that retails for $78. There are 5 different finishes in this palette. We're getting mattes, we're getting shimmers, we're getting foiled metallics, we're getting 3 or 5 duochromes, and we're getting 1 sparkling topper shade. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. I will go over all of these in a second, but this is the color story that Miss Pat McGrath is giving us for holiday 2021. You'll remember last year that we also got a large palette. First time she was doing this size of a palette at this price point, and this is the Celestial Divinity palette. So there are definitely some differences in here. I think that this one is more purple pink leaning, whereas this one over here definitely has some more neutral tones, and of course we do get those pops of blue and a little pop of green in there, which I'm always happy to see. Now, also available in the collection, actually the full collection just launched yesterday. It launched on a Wednesday, the September 29th. There were 2 different blush glow trios. I ended up picking up one of them. The one I picked up, and I'll put a picture of it here, was the darker of the 2 shades, and this one is called Amber Allure. These blush glow trios retail for $52 a piece. You're getting 2 blushes and 1 highlighter. The only thing I'm a little concerned with, I'm not concerned with the blush shades. I bought this based off of the blush shades, and because I've never tried the blushes before, I've heard so many good things about them. I'm really hoping that the highlighter is not a little too dark. It might be, because I think this palette is intended more for like medium to tan skin tones, whereas the other one, I'll put a picture of the first one here, Galactic Sun, that obviously is probably more for somebody with a fair to light complexion like myself, but I wanted the pops of color. That's why I chose to go with Amber Allure. So as soon as that one arrives, I will most definitely be playing with it on camera, letting you guys see how it looks on my fair to light skin tone. Also in the collection was an individual highlighter. I'll put a picture of it here. This is the Skin Fetish Sublime Skin Highlighter in the shade Lunar Nude. That retails for $60. And then of course there were 2 different quads available. This first one is called the Celestial Odyssey Luxe Quad in Bronze Borealis. This one retails for $54. And then the second quad shade is the Celestial Odyssey Luxe Quad Deep Space Divinity. This one also retails for $54, but this one, and I'm going to keep the picture of it here, but this one looks very similar to last year's quad. I haven't even touched this one. I bought this on sale. I think I bought it like last December or this past January. I just haven't wanted to use it. I just think it's so pretty. I've just kept it in the box on display in my beauty room. I am not going to dip into it today because today's video is all about creating 4 looks with the new palette, but that way you can draw your own comparisons. I know a lot of people were saying they were way too similar, and I think so too. Just some of the finishes are different, but really, I think we should have gotten a completely different quad if you ask me. So wanted to throw that out there. I don't believe there were any lippies available. Yeah, no new lipsticks or anything like that. Actually, there are some lip balms. I'll put a picture of them here. One of them is New Temptation and the other one is called Naked Rose. Those haven't launched yet, and those are going to retail. It doesn't say how much those are going to retail for, but if you go to the Pat McGrath website, I will have it linked in the description box of this video. There's a lot of different pack-ups that you can get this palette in. You can bundle it in many different ways. You can get the 3 eyeshadow palette bundle, which is going to be the 2 quads and this one, or you could get this palette and one of the blush glow trios, or I believe they're selling this palette with an eyeliner and a mascara, which I do love the Pat McGrath Dark Star mascara. there's just several different options, and I like that. I like that she gives us those bundle options, and there's also a 10% discount. I want to say that the new code is Celestial10. The code for this one was Mega10. I'll have them both in the description box, and you can try them both and see which one works. I used Mega10 to get 10% off this palette, and when I ordered this palette, it was only standard shipping that was available, and it took exactly a week to get to me. Now, like I just said, I will be creating 4 looks using this new eyeshadow palette, and I will of course give you my thoughts, my review at the end of those 4 looks, as well as showing you some dupes, some comparisons in case you don't have the $78 or you don't want to have the $78 to shell out for this palette. Completely understand. I got you covered. And guys, really quick, the packaging on this is that cardboard style packaging, and when you open it up, you probably see this little black ribbon. You're thinking like, Steph, what is that black ribbon? It's to hold the mirror open. So if you had it sitting on your vanity or a table, it would just sit straight up like this. And if you don't like it, you can always cut these. That's no big deal. That way you can fold the mirror all the way back. But that's just something extra that Pat McGrath does with these palettes. I will say this right now, this packaging is definitely an upgrade from this packaging. It's also a little thicker. Let me just put them on top of each other. And then this one is also a little bit longer as well. So this one felt really cheap. This was just like a sticker that was placed on here. I don't know. I didn't like that packaging at all. This one is definitely an upgrade because the only part that's a sticker is this right here, and it's a good quality sticker. It doesn't look cheapy like last year's did, and of course you do have the shades on the back. It does say that this palette is good for 12 months after opening. All right guys, I've talked enough. Let's get started creating these 4 looks using the new Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey eyeshadow palette. If you want to see this new palette in action, keep on watching. Alright, so I've already primed my eyelids. I used the Natasha Denona Work and Set. It's like a cream gel liner. It's in the shade Nude. So let's dive into this really pretty palette. What do we want to do? Okay, we got to use the green first and foremost. This shade right here looks really pretty, as do these pink shades. Let's start off with something pink. Let's do something pink. I'm going to start off with this shade right here, and I'm going to place that in the crease. And I'm going to be using some of the brushes from the new BK Beauty and Angie Hot and Flashy brush set. I used these brushes in my last video, which was the ColourPop Hocus Pocus collection video, and I loved the way they performed. So let me just make sure I don't have any creases here on my eyelid. And this brush that I'm going in with is the A501. Ooh, yes, look at that. Immediate payoff. I'm just going to be pressing that into the crease, and I will blend it in a bit. I will use another brush to blend the edges with. I'm just placing that in here. There's a little bit of hiccup in the pan, but that could have just been me, the way I was dipping my brush into the pan. I kind of really dug it in there so I could get a good amount of pigment on the brush, and it worked. So now I'm going in with this A502, no product. I'm just going to blend out the edges a little bit, very lightly. All right, now I'm going to take that same brush and let's dip into this shade right here. And I'm going to be building that in the crease as well as the outer corner. bringing it in. All right, so I'm getting a really nice blend with these two shades. And I mean, excellent payoff, excellent pigmentation. Now I'm taking the same brush, the A502, and I'm gonna dip into this dark brown. And that's what I'm gonna use to deepen up the outer corner. Just wanna keep it right in this area. I might end up cutting the crease. That's nice. That's really, really nice. Perfect shade. Now keep in mind, guys, this palette only has 4 matte shades. And I think that's the way last year's palette was too. It only had 3 or 4. It had a small number. The majority of the palette is like a shimmer palette. All right, so I got a good blend there. I'm gonna go back in with this Natasha Denona Work-In Set. This is that nude eyeliner that I use to prime my eyelids with. And I'm gonna take this little brush. This is a Luxie 246. And I'm gonna use this to cut the crease. Now I'm gonna go in with a Rephr 21, and do we wanna keep this like an all kind of like a monochromatic look, or do we wanna do, let's see, we could do the blue, or we could do this shade. This shade looks really pretty. Let's try this one. I'm gonna try not spraying the brush, and let me see what happens. Ooh, that's pretty. Okay, I didn't spray the brush. Look at that payoff. We're gonna do another shade. We'll make like a little gradient here. Okay, now I'm gonna flip the brush around, and I think I'm gonna go into this shade right here. Again, I'm not spraying it. Wow. That's beautiful. Just lightly tapping it. Now I'm going back in with the A502 and the same shade I used right here in the crease. Just to lightly blend the edges. I'm gonna pick up some of that dark brown. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. I'm gonna use my finger. It's a very soft shade, and I'm gonna place it right here where the two shades meet. Wow, that's beautiful. Okay, now let's do some work on the lower lash line. So I'm gonna go in with the first pink shade that I used, and I'm taking a BK207. I do have a little bit of mascara on. It was from earlier today. I didn't like really do any makeup at work today. I just did a little bit of eyebrows and mascara, and that was about it. So I kept that on and just applied the rest of my makeup around it when I got home, because I knew I was gonna be filming 4 looks for you guys today. Now I'm gonna go in with the second pink shade. Focus that over here. And now I'm taking this little BH Cosmetics pencil brush, and I'm going in with that dark brown. And I'm keeping that right out here, really close to the lash line. Same little pencil brush, and I'm going in with that first shimmer shade. This time I'm gonna spray it. I wanna see what that's gonna do. And I'm applying it right here in the inner corner, dragging it down. It's a beautiful shade. Okay, so I really like the way this look came out. Let me add some more mascara, but some eyeliner, and I will be right back to show you this completed look number 1. All right, guys, so this is look number 1 with the Celestial Odyssey palette from Pat McGrath. What do you guys think? I added some of the Pat McGrath Dark Star Mascara. Like I mentioned in the intro portion of the video, this is one of my favorite mascaras. I do enjoy using that. And then of course I added my go-to black liquid liner, which is the Wet n Wild Breakup Proof Liquid Liner. And then for the lower waterline, I went in with one of my new favorites. This one from Natasha Denona. This is the Macrotech Eye Crayon in the shade Burgundy. I like the way the look came out. I like the way all of the shadows performed. I'm getting a little nervous because there's only 4 matte shades, and so I kind of think the crease is gonna look the same in almost all of the looks, but I'll try and change it up as best as I can. We definitely have a lot of shimmer shades to play with, and I think I want to play with the blue next. So let's jump over to the left eye and start creating look number 2. So the first shade I'm going to go in with is this one right here. And I'm using the A502. And I'm going to be blending that on the outer portion and also into the crease. And then I'll be using that dark brown to really deepen up the outer corner. Or maybe not. Maybe this shade will be enough. We'll see. I'm only going to take this about halfway. Maybe like to right there. I can't get over how much I am enjoying these new BK Beauty brushes. Like, these were definitely the sizes that we needed in the BK Beauty line. I love that. I love these brushes. So far, so good. I used the angled concealer brush. The one that, if you watched Angie from Hot and Flashy, I'll have her channel in the description box of this video so you can go check her out. She uses that angled brush for concealer, and it applied her concealer so beautifully. And I don't always use a brush to apply concealer, but I did today before I came on camera, and wow, that brush did a fantastic job. Very impressed. Okay, so no issues with this shade either. This is a nice solid matte shade, packing on and blending out really nicely. Okay, so let's leave that one there. I am gonna dip in with the same brush to that dark brown. Just place that right in here. All right, so I'm really liking this so far. Now what I'm going to do is we're gonna do the blue shade right here. You guys know I love the combination of blue and brown together. So I'm gonna go in with this shade, and I'm using the A505. And I did not spray it. This is beautiful. Now I'm gonna try spraying it. Now I'm going to take the A504 No Product, and I'm just going to blend out this edge. Now I'm going to go back in with that first light brown shade right in here. Okay, now I'm going to pick up some more of the dark brown. Just use that to blend right in this area. So for the lower lash line, I'm gonna actually go in with this shade right here. And I'm taking that on the BH Cosmetics pencil brush. I'm spraying it. This is a shimmer shade. Now for the inner corner, I think I'm gonna go in with this shade right here. And I'm gonna spray it. Now I'm just cleaning off that pencil brush, and I'm gonna go in with that first brown shade. I'm gonna run that right down here. All right, guys, so let me add some liner and mascara, and I'll be right back to show you all the completed look number 2. All right, guys, so this is the completed look number 2. What do you guys think? I only used one eyeliner for this look, and it is from Kokie Cosmetics. This is their retractable kohl eyeliner in the shade dark brown or deep brown. And I added some more Pat McGrath Dark Star mascara. That's about it. I did add the liner, of course, to the top lash line and to the lower waterline. And I really love the combination of the brown and blue together. I've always loved this combination. So far we are 2 for 2. No issues with the shadows. Minimal fallout. I think I got like a little speck right here. And I don't remember if it was from the matte shade or the shimmer shade. It was probably from the shimmer shade. But overall, I'm very pleased with the performance of this palette. Now I need to go wipe off these 2 looks, but only so I can come back and create the final 2. All right, so let's get started with this third eye look. I'm really excited. I've been really happy with this palette. Let's work with the green because I am dying to work with this green shade. I kind of think the pink and the green look really pretty together. What do you guys think? So I'm gonna start with this shade, and that might be the only matte shade I use, and then jump into the green. Maybe this in the inner corner. We'll see. Let's try it. And I'm going back in with the A501. Start placing that here. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should do this like all over, even on the lid. Let's try that. Yeah, let me pack this on all down here as well. This brush is just blending the shadows so well. Like zero effort on my part. This is a really nice pink shade. It's a nice, like a neutral pink, while still being fun. So now I'm gonna take my finger and let's dip into this green. That's what it looks like. Beautiful, as all green shadows are. Look at that. This is beautiful. Now I'm going to use the A505 and I'm going to spray it. Look at how beautiful those 2 shades are together. And even just like layered with one another. This green shade is gorgeous. All right, now I'm going to move to the lower lash line and then I'll come back up here to the lid. For the lower lash line, I wish there was another green. I would have liked to have gone in with another green. I guess I'm going to go back in with the same pink. Let's go back in with that one. And I'm going to use the Refer 26. Just to drag that down. I'm just using this other brush just to make sure I have a nice like connection right here. Now I'm picking up a little bit more of the green. Just to add it right here. Such a pretty shade. Okay, now for the inner corner. I'm going to go in with this shade right here. I might even add a little bit of that shade to the lid. I'm going to use that BH pencil brush. That one might be a little too dark for the inner corner. I might need to brighten this up. Yeah. I'm going to go in, let's see. I'm going to go in with the light pink up here. All right, so now I'm going to add some liner and mascara, and I'll be right back to show you all the third look. All right, guys, so this is the completed look number 3. I went for some lashes since these are the last 2 looks, and the lashes that I'm using are the Lilly Lashes in the style Miami. And then for, of course, the top lash line, Wet n Wild Breakup Proof, and for the lower waterline, this one from ColourPop. This is the cream gel liner in the shade Aglow. I like the way this look came out. I love the pink and green together. It's such an easy look to recreate. We only used 3 shades. Yeah, we used 4 shades. One of them we probably shouldn't have used because it was that first shade I put in the inner corner. This look was easily achieved with 3 shadows. So I am really loving it. So far we are 3 for 3. So let's jump over to the left eye and create the fourth and final look. Okay, so for this look, I think I want to do something with the gold. Let's do something like with the gold and brown shades because we haven't really done anything like that. This shade looks really pretty too. Let's start. I think I'm gonna do kind of like what I did on this eye, and I'm gonna pack this shade. I'm gonna go with this shade all over the lid and blend it into the crease. And I'm gonna use that same A501. This shade is pigmented. So this is gonna be a really chocolate smoky eye look. Very fall inspired eye. I think this eye came out very spring-like. What do you all think? And effortless with this brush and these shadows. No time at all. I'm not gonna worry too much like how it looks right here since I am gonna be covering it up with shimmer shades. Just wanna make sure like the edges are okay. All right, so I'm gonna stop there before I get carried away. Now I wanna go into this really pretty rust shade right here. And I'm gonna use the Refer 21. And I am gonna spray the shade. And I'm gonna start over here, wow. Look at that. I'm gonna keep it about right there. Notice I'm not taking it all the way in. I'm gonna clean off the brush and let's go into the gold shade right here. I'm gonna try not spraying this one. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna pick up some more of this rust shade. Okay, so now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take this Refer 26 and I'm gonna go into that dark brown and I'm gonna use it right here to define because I feel like the shimmer kind of got away from me. So I definitely want to define this area. And then I'm gonna blend it right now, but since this has a nice little point, that's why I'm using it. Now I'm going to take the A504 No Product. Just blending. Now I'm going to pick up a little bit of product. Okay, now for the lower lash line, I really wanted to try this shade right here. I think this is, ooh, that's like that gold to pink shift. Since I have it, I'm gonna place it right here. That's pretty. This is definitely one of those duochromes. All right, now for the lower lash line, I'm gonna go in with the Refer 26, and I'm gonna go back in with this shade right here. And I'm gonna spray the brush. This is such a pretty shade. Perfect for the season. Now I'm gonna pick up a little bit of this shade, keep it close to the lash line. I'm gonna go back in with that dark brown matte and get this area I always miss. For the inner corner, I'm gonna try this shade right here. And I'm using that little BH pencil brush. Let me spray it. We definitely have a look. Let me add the other falsie and some liner and I'll be right back to show you the fourth and final look. Alright guys, so this is the fourth and final look with the Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey palette. I went in with some liquid brown liner from KVD. This is the tattoo liner in the shade Mad Max Brown. And for the lower waterline, I went in with the NYX Epic Wear in the shade Orange Zest. I like the way the look came out. I added the other Lilly Lash in the style Miami. Very fall vibes, fall and spring. What do you guys think? All right, guys, so now it's time for me to give you all my final thoughts on this eyeshadow palette, as well as some dupe alternatives that you might already have in your stash. Alright, so after creating 4 looks with this eyeshadow palette, I definitely have some thoughts. Now, first and foremost, I definitely think the packaging is an upgrade from last year, and I showed you that in the intro portion of the video. It's a little bit thicker, it feels a little bit sturdier, and I definitely love the cover so much better than last year. It doesn't look as cheap as last year's looked. Just saying, guys. You do get the same full-size mirror. This one is a little bit longer and a little bit thicker from last year's palette as well, but you do get the same amount of shades. So this palette contains 4 matte shades. Last year's palette only contained 3 matte shades. Now the matte shades that are in this palette, beautiful. They blend out well, they pack on, they're pigmented. I mean, they're pretty solid matte shades. I like the tones that they included. I think that maybe we could have done without this matte shade and maybe got maybe a green shade. That might have been nice. Or maybe even a blue matte shade. That would have been nice too. I just think that having 2 pinks is a little redundant. I think we could have done with just one or the other. I do like the selection of the shimmer shades, and of course I like that there's duochrome shades and there's that one celestial shade in here as well. For me, guys, the favorite shade is of course the green. This one is really pretty too. This was one of the duochrome shades. I do like the pinks. Like, I like this little area of the palette, and of course I did enjoy working with this blue-green shade down here. I didn't get to use this one. Let me just swatch this one with my finger. Oh yeah, that's pretty. This one will look really good with this dark brown or even this shade down here. I think I used, let's see, there might have been only 2 shades that I didn't use, and I think the 2 shades I didn't use was this one and this one. So not bad. I used 16 out of the 18 shades. That's pretty good for creating 4 different eye looks. I didn't have any issues, guys, with the performance of this palette. I thought that, I mean, everything was pretty good. Pretty much on par with Pat McGrath quality. This is a $78 eyeshadow palette. Normally her palettes retail for upwards of $100. I mean, this little quad right here, this little quad, which is similar to, again, the one that was released this year, this quad alone retails for $54. I think maybe even this one could have been $62. I want to say there's like a special shade in this one. I don't entirely remember. Now, even though this palette is $78, I don't think they skimped on quality at all. If anything, I think this palette is a definite step up from last year, and I enjoyed playing with this one more from last year. Let me show you last year's palette once again. This is what last year's look like. So again, more pink and purple tones in it. And I love those shades, don't get me wrong. But I don't know, there was just something about the way this palette performed today. Maybe it was the BK Beauty brushes, I don't know, but I just enjoyed playing with it and I really enjoyed the color story. I see spring, I see fall, I see summer, I see winter, I see everything you need in this palette. This palette is definitely gonna make a beautiful gift to give somebody who has a birthday coming up, or maybe just save it and give it to them for Christmas. I mean, who doesn't want to get Pat McGrath for Christmas? Come on. Overall, guys, it's getting 2 thumbs up from me. Absolutely loved it. Welcome to my stash, Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey palette. I'm definitely going to get a lot of use out of it. But I realized, guys, that $78 is not in everybody's budget. So now let me show you some alternatives that you might already have in your stash. Alright guys, so now let's look at some things that you might already have in your stash. I'm gonna say that I'm not duping formula. I'm also not duping like the ratio of matte to shimmer shades, because this Pat McGrath palette, as we've already discovered, this one only has 4 matte shades and then the rest of the shades are shimmer shades. So I pulled out a few palettes. The first one that I thought about was the Urban Decay Born to Run. This is the color story here. I'm pretty sure that you can find this palette on sale. You might even be able to find it like at TJ Maxx. I'm not entirely sure. But here you can see the color stories and just how similar they are. Yes, I know it's not spot on, but you can create similar looks. So now I will say that the shimmers that are in the Urban Decay palette are nowhere near the shimmer shades that are in the Pat McGrath palette, but it does come in at a cheaper price point. Now, if you picked up the Sydney Grace and Temptalia collaboration, then I don't think you need this one from Pat McGrath. The shimmer shades that are in any of these palettes, I picked up the light bundle. They're impeccable, as are the matte shades. I mean, I think this is pretty much on par with Pat McGrath quality. But like I said, I do have the light bundle, and this first one is on the horizon. So here these two palettes are so that you can compare. They have the green shade, the blue shade, the pink shade. Now I want to show you the other two palettes in comparison to the Pat McGrath. So here's Radiant Reflection. This one has the gold shade. It also has some of the green, and it has, you know, those light pinkish reddish tones in it as well. And then finally, Quintessence. I think this is the least similar of the three palettes. This definitely has more gray tones. It even has a black, and it has more green than the actual Pat McGrath palette has. But I just wanted to point these out because I know that if you have all three, even if you have 2 of the 3, then I don't think you'll need to pick up this Pat McGrath palette. Those Sydney Grace and Temptalia eyeshadow palettes are amazing. I mean, same great quality. If you like Pat McGrath quality and you've never tried the Sydney Grace formula, I highly recommend checking those out. And I'm pretty sure those are in stock right now. Those are permanents in the Sydney Grace collection. And then finally, I pulled out the Wet n Wild Wild Heart palette. Guys, this palette has been making the rounds here on YouTube. I first reviewed this in the summer. I think I might have been one of the first to review it, to be honest, and I'll admit I was a little hesitant. I wasn't too sure how it was going to perform, but this is a good one. This is a winner. It retails for 20 bucks. I think in some stores you can find it for 15 bucks, and you might even be able to find it on sale on the Wet n Wild website. It's a good one, and you have a whole bunch of shades in here to choose from. Let me hold up the Pat McGrath so that you can see them in comparison with one another. So here's Wet n Wild, and here is Pat McGrath. I apologize that you can see the ring light reflection there, but this is the best I can do. But I think you can pretty much see that there are some definite similarities here. Again, not duping formula. Not that Wet n Wild has a bad formula. I mean, it's not Pat McGrath formula. But guys, for being a $20 eyeshadow palette and getting all these shades, it's a really nice palette to check out. Just throwing that out there. I've really been enjoying this one. But those are just some options that I wanted to share with you in case you have these already in your stash, or maybe you want to pick some of those up instead of this one. All of the palettes that I showed you are less expensive than this one is. Alright guys, so that wraps up today's video showcasing the brand new Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey palette. Let me know your thoughts. I know a lot of you have been really excited for this palette. Some of you ordered it already. You're anxiously awaiting for it to arrive. I had wanted to obviously get this like express shipping, but that wasn't an option. So we all had to be patient. We all had to wait for it. And I think a lot of us are having our Pat McGrath videos go up on the same day, which is actually a good thing because we're going to be trending for a little bit here on YouTube. So thank you guys so much for watching. Do let me know which look you like best, and let me know what you think of this new Pat McGrath palette. I want to thank you guys so much for watching another one of my videos. You all have a great day or night, wherever it is you all are at. Stay hydrated, guys. Drink your water. Cheers. And I will see you all very soon. Bye.